Thorn. I'm just a rock and roller who in his downtime likes to watch movies while wearing a bandana. And I've been trying to do this TGIS Hangout every Saturday with you guys. And hopefully, you guys join in. There's two of you already here, which is awesome, which is amazing. I'm trying to make sure that this is live everywhere else. Let's see, waiting for Thorn Theater, waiting for Thorn Theater. Let's see. Make sure that we're actually going live here. Says I'm live. There we go. Okay, all right. Maybe you just got to click on this stuff again. Are we doing it? Yeah, we are. Cool, cool, cool. So once again, I'm Alex Thorn, and I'm a rock and roller who in his downtime likes to watch movies while wearing a bandana. And let's see. I'm trying to make sure that I'm actually live. Boom, we are live. So cool, so cool. And I'm looking at myself at like different angles here. But as I have been trying to get this done and do this for what? This is like the fourth one, I think, which is pretty cool. It's been really interesting and really cool to go live with you guys. It's been really nice, I guess is the way I could say it. It's kind of relaxing to kind of talk about the week and everything that's been going on. So, there's three of you guys here. Welcome to the live. Right now, I'm using, hopefully, I don't know if it's coming out clear or not, but I'm using the Hollyland Mark II. This thing was a game changer for me. I know it's been a game changer for a lot of other people who have used this. It's crazy. Jeremy, what happened to the 80s, 90s, 2000 movies? In terms of what? Like me reviewing them? Because right now I'm doing the Alien series, and I'm on Alien 3, which is going to come out this week. Thank you, my man. But Jeremy Harris is asking what happened to 80s, 90s, 2000s. I mean, dude, I still review them. I'm doing Alien right now. That's the franchise, and that spanned from 79, 86, 94, I guess, something like that. Twisters, which just came out. I was really excited to watch that. So, I'm going to be honest with you, dude. Like, when it comes to reviewing for the channel, what gets growth, honestly, is what's popular. And if there's something popular right now, there you go. I'm gonna review it, but it's only if I'm interested in it. And Twisters, I was interested in. I'm not one of those reviewers or guys that's gonna go to everything because you're gonna want me to talk about it. It's just not that. It's not something that's gonna happen. So, but Twisters, I was cool with that, and I'm doing Aliens right now. In fact, in this live, I'm gonna talk about some 80s and 90s VHSs, dude, that I picked up in thrifting. So stay tuned, stay with me, Jeremy. Thank you so much. How about Strangers? I've never seen. By the way, Renee Avila says, "What about Strangers?" I've never seen any of the Strangers movies, so I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's something I'm going to be interested in. Check on the audio there, but I did a trailer reaction to The Strangers, and I'm assuming that's what you're talking about is the horror movie, Renee. But I mean, I could go see it, but I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Ricardo, hello from Brazil. What's going on, Ricardo? Thank you for joining the live. Appreciate you. Old Michael Myers movies. Apex Predator 7265 says, "What about old Michael Myers movies?" I mean, if you check on the channel, if you go through the videos, I did do Halloween Ends, and then I did do Halloween the original. I did like a comparison of the original Rob Zombies and the newer Halloween that came out. And I kind of like just talked about all three of them in one video. It was one of my earlier videos. That might have been like my one of my first 10 videos on this channel, and this channel's turning 2 years old in 2 months. So yeah, I do. I have talked about Halloween. Eventually I will look at the entire series. But man, there's some other ones I got to get to before I talk about Halloween, such as Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, which those are my two favorite franchises, you know? Dude, Rob Zombie's, look, hot take, but JM says that Rob Zombie's Halloween was wild. Yes, and I liked it. Truth be told, I dug Rob Zombie's Halloween. I didn't have an issue with it. I thought it was really interesting the way they chose to dive into Michael Myers' young story. A lot of other people are like, we don't want to see what motivates him. I do. Yeah, nice. Renee Avila says, am I excited about the new Alien movie? Tremendously. I mean, if there was a movie that could do anything more to like make me want to watch it, I don't know, because they've done two things that really interested me in terms of the new Alien Romulus movie. Those two things being, one, they're using practical effects more, which I get it. Aliens really lends itself to CGI, but also practical effects have got it, right? They had to get better over the years. So like use it, like put these people in a room with something bigger than them that looks like an alien. And two, I'm a huge VHS fan, which later on in this stream, I'm going to talk about that. And they released a scene to press from the new Alien movie on VHS. And I love that. I love that, you know? So JM asks, which is the best Alien movie? I can't say on this stream because I have not seen all the Alien movies. Every Monday, I'm doing a live watch along, which you can check out on this channel. This Monday, I'm watching Alien Resurrection for the first time. The last few Mondays was 3 Aliens and Alien, and I'm going to continue doing that for all 8 movies up to the new one, which obviously you guys can't come along for the watch along on that. Yes, Hakuna Matata, Tord. I appreciate that, man. Actually, you know what? I got a little tie to that because my son played adult Simba in his latest play. So that was really, really, really cool. Oh, thank you so much, JM. I appreciate you, man. He says, you seem really chill. I am. It's a Saturday night, man. I'm not 21 years old anymore. So on a Saturday night, if I'm not at rehearsal or supporting one of my buddies' live shows or playing a live show, I just want to chill, you know? I just want to chill. And Saturday nights are my nights to chill if there's no music stuff happening, to be honest with you. Did I watch the prequel Prometheus? Yes, Renee, I did. I saw it in theaters twice. And then I bought the special edition 3D Blu-ray when it came out from Best Buy way back then. And unfortunately, I don't have it anymore. I sold it some years ago because I didn't have a 3D TV anymore. So why keep the 3D Blu-ray? Now, I looked it up a few days ago when we were talking about it here, and that thing's like $115 now. And I wish I never gave it away, or not gave it away, but I wish I never sold it. I damn sure didn't give it away. I didn't have a channel yet. Yeah, Jeremy, dude, just as much as you love VHS, and you know, man, you're the one that's by the way, guys, Jeremy Harris, for this channel, he helped out. I was doing my first franchise deep dive was Night of the Demons, and I had, one is easy to get a hold of. 2, I believe I was able to stream it, and 3, I could not find it anywhere, not even like to pay for stream, I think at the time. And I reached out to you guys, and I think I reached out via Facebook groups and all that stuff and asked if anybody could send me a physical copy. Like, I'll even send it back to you type thing. And Jeremy Harris, I believe, came through and not only sent me Night of the Demons 3, but like a ton of other, like Strip to Kill. I had never seen that, but I remembered the VHS cover in video stores. It was so cool. Oh my God. It was so cool to watch that because I was watching it like a little kid. Honestly, I was like, oh, there's so many movies that have not been released on Blu-ray and that just got lost. Like some of them didn't even come to DVD. Some of these movies are just relegated to VHS and you weren't going to find them in a Blockbuster. You can only find them at like mom and pop video stores. It ain't, you gotta reach back out to people like Jeremy, man, who did that. And not only that, here's the real cool thing. I believe, Jeremy, if you're still here, brother, let me know in the chat. Weren't these like you recorded them from VHS to DVD? So these weren't like cleaned up DVD, transfers. These were VHS quality, but on DVD, and they looked great because you didn't have to deal with tracking. He already dealt with it, so they weren't previously cleaned up or anything like that. It was so cool. It was so, yeah, absolutely. Jeremy's the real one, man. Jeremy's the real one. All right, JM, check this out. I've only seen, there's too many Puppet Masters, and I'm not going to watch all of them, but I've only seen like maybe the original 3 or 4. Could not tell you anything that I remember other than, some of the way some of the characters look. Ghoulies, I've never seen, but in a few weeks back, when I did this Saturday night Hangout stream, I walked in, I got this story. I walked into my Best Buy. Yeah, brother, Jeremy Harris knows the VHS. I walked into my Best Buy. My buddy who worked there told me, hey, are you still, into movies? And I'm like, yeah, of course. He goes, come on. Took me to the back, showed me that they had all these leftover movies because, as you guys know, Best Buy stopped selling DVDs and physical media in March. Took me back there, showed me a ton of DVDs and Blu-rays that they still had. He said, they're not in the system anymore. Take what you want. And I picked up Ghoulies and Swamp Thing from there, as well as like Bad Boys the Collection, which I did a deep dive on this channel for, and Critters I've never seen. Always loved the covers, the VHS covers. Those were awesome. In the horror section, you just always looked at it. Ghoulies was another one that I thought the characters on the front looked really cool, but never saw it. Never saw it. The closest I came to watching any of those like kind of movies was my first movie theater experience, which was The Gate 2. That was the first movie I ever saw in theaters, and I think that came out in 1990, so I was 4 years old. The first movie my mom took me to was The Gate 2, and we left. We left about 30 minutes into the movie. We thought it was boring. I've always been older mentally, always been older mentally. So even at 5 years old, I was like, this is boring. This is this. I don't like this or whatever about it. I don't know how I would feel if, well, that's the one that I saw, JM, was The Gate 2. To this day, I've never re-seen The Gate 2 and I've never seen the original Gate, but one day I want to revisit it. I saw on a visit to Walmart a few weeks ago, I saw that they have like a steelbook, which I'm shocked that there was a steelbook of The Gate out. That's too cool. So somebody joined the chat, the Latin drummer, my buddy, my former drummer for life. Al, what's going on, my man? He says, you need to review The Incredible Melting Man. I've never seen it. I've never seen it, man. Never, ever seen it. Renee Avila says, The Toxic Avenger. Dude, I remember being so excited. I got a Toxic Avenger story. I remember, 1990, 1991, 92. It's got to be 90, 91. I'm 4 or 5 years old. And we go into, I don't know if everybody else had a Goldblatt's, but I had a Goldblatt's here in Chicago. And they bought me Toxic Avenger toys. And then I end up seeing Toxic Avenger, the cartoon. So I'm hyped up on Toxic Avenger. I love Toxic Avenger as a kid, right? And then eventually I become a teenager, and I want to say right around 12, 13 years old, I end up renting the original movie Toxic Avenger, and I hated it. I couldn't even make it to the end of the movie. I was like, this is what that cartoon and those cool toys that I had were based on, and I've never went back to it, man. I don't see, here's the thing. I can do silly. I can do silly a little bit of comedy in my horror, but when it's to that level, not for me. Just not for me. Latin Drummer says, "Oh, it's on YouTube." Okay. The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp. I've never, dude, I've never seen. Not only have I never seen The Ninth Gate, but I'm not a big Johnny Depp fan. I know he debuted in A Nightmare on Elm Street, and he was fine there because he didn't develop any habits on how to act. But I feel like every time he's like Tom Cruise to me, where every time I see them, I just don't care about them on the screen, and sometimes they do things that is just too extra. But I mean, if you're saying it's a good movie, dude, I'll watch The Ninth Gate eventually. Maybe we can do a live watch along, on the channel, which I do those Monday, and then like more rare movies that I don't think are going to get a lot of traction, I'll do those for YouTube members here on the channel, because it's about enjoying it. It's not necessarily about getting as many people turned on to it. Jeremy, you just bought the 3 Toxic Avengers, but like on what? On VHS, DVD, Blu-ray? They remaster those for like 4K? There's no way, dude. If you did. Let me catch up with some of you other guys. I'm sorry that I missed some of your comments. Let's see. I think I caught up with you guys. It's a cheesy movie, if that's what it should be. Okay. Johnny Depp being a nerd, I could believe that. A lot of women find him hugely handsome and sexy, and I'm like, but this guy's a nerd. I could tell he's a nerd. He's a cool guy, though. I love that Johnny Depp does. You know what I can do with, like, I can handle with Johnny Depp is the fact that he's a musician. I love that he's a musician. I love when he's doing rock band stuff. I've seen him in YouTube videos playing with Alice Cooper. I've seen him playing with Gene Simmons. I love that he does that stuff because he already has the look, Ah, okay. So Jeremy, you bought them on Blu-ray, and answer me this. First of all, I didn't even know there was 3 movies, but is Toxic Avenger 2 and 3 as silly as part 1? Because if it is, I can't even watch it, man. But let me get into, you guys have been awesome. I'm going to get into what I wanted to talk about, what I planned to talk about today, which was the VHSs that I bought via Thrift this week. And the first one it has to do with this channel because I just got done reviewing the entire Beverly Hills Cop series. And I learned when I reviewed that series that Sylvester Stallone was supposed to play Axel Foley, which is shocking to me. Which is what happens next is even more shocking to me in the fact that when he turned it down, he took the concept of Beverly Hills Cop and turned it into an action movie and called it Cobra. And I never seen Cobra, but I always saw it at the video stores, the mom and pop video stores, and boom, ended up finding it at my local thrift store, 50 cents, could not pass it up. So, and then I see here on the back that it's actually got Bridget Nielsen, who would be in Beverly Hills Cop 2 and, would eventually be his bride. But, so cool. Just ridiculous to think that Sylvester Stallone was going to play Axel Foley, and that I get that at that time he wasn't doing comedy, and he thought it was above comedy, right? Because he's Rambo, he's Rocky Balboa. But eventually, come the early 90s, he started doing action comedy and then just comedy itself. So I Never seen it. I'm excited to see it, especially after watching the entire Beverly Hills Cop series and ranking them here. That's available on the channel. And then two VHS movies. Since we're talking about Stallone, I'm going to pick this other one that I've never seen. And I think I saw Joe Blow, the YouTube channel. Joe Blow did a review or like a recap review of this specific movie, calling it underrated. And what I remember when this movie came out was nobody wanted to see Stallone. Daylight. I don't know if I've ever seen it. If I did, my mother might have rented it, and I probably was in the room just playing with my action figures or something like that while she was watching it. But at this time when this came out, which is like 95, I think, I remember Hollywood, 97. Oh man, I remember Hollywood being past Stallone by this time. By like Demolition Man, I think they were starting to get past Stallone in the way he was. So I want to watch it because I do love Stallone. I just know that when this came out, people did not care about Stallone like they used to. Yeah, man. Oh, it is? Okay. So Latin Drummer says The Daylight is a good movie to watch one time. Everybody's loving Cobra. Okay, you guys are loving Cobra, so I bet I'll love it. It's as good as Action Jackson with Carl Weathers. I saw Action Jackson one time. It was a one-time rental back then. That was it. Tulsa King. Yeah, Latin Drummer, he'll be familiar with this. So my Uncle Carlos, who we've all been in a band with, he recommended Tulsa King, and I just haven't seen it yet. So, if everybody, it's very rare that Stallone does anything bad. Let's just be real. He's really good at what he does, and if you like Stallone, you like him in most things. And the last VHS that I picked up, not the biggest fan of Bruce Willis, mainly because he wasn't as big, like stature-wise, as Stallone or Schwarzenegger. But he's got a charm to him. He's really good. And I've always been curious about this movie. So I picked up Striking Distance. And I just, it was one of those covers. I feel like this was one of those covers that still grabbed your attention right before people started using Photoshop for VHSs. If you guys remember that. Like 93, I feel like this is just one of the last ones before they really just started, putting people's heads above the title of the movie. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's plenty of movie posters like that and movie covers that came out with people just, floating heads above the title. I feel like this cover always got me, and I'm like, how can I pass up Striking Distance for 50 cents? I've never seen it. So 3 movies that I've never seen, and picked them all up. So it was a good day to thrift for sure. And then I'll find somewhere for this. There we go. Put this on the side. And then the last VHS that yes, Renee, I love The Fifth Element. Like, I think I liked Bruce Willis in that because he looked drastically different than he regularly does. And the last VHS that I have here is not something I picked up at a thrift store. It's actually something that I ordered custom. And that is Rocky 6. I've been on this, kick personally, not on the channel yet, of collecting all the original Rockies on VHS. And I'm not talking about the re-releases that came out, like 97 with different covers. No, the original Rockies, the first print ones that went to VHS. And, oh man, everybody's recommending Striking Distance. Yeah, you guys are awesome. So it doesn't seem like I picked up one bad movie. So thank you guys for giving me Take It and Throw It Away. Rocky 5 is born. Rocky 6. I've seen Rocky 6. I went to the theater to watch this. But that got me. All right, Al. Thanks. Appreciate that. He said, take it away, take it and throw it away. I know that it could be boring. I haven't seen it since back then in the day. Maybe I saw it one more time after the movie release. But it's not really about how good the movie is. It's about having all of the originals. And this movie doesn't exist on VHS, but it does now. So I picked it up, custom. Costed a little bit more, but when you, as Jeremy Harris, I'm sure, if you're still here, brother, if you know, once you start collecting and you want them all, it's like Pokemon. You got to get them. And you got to get the versions you want, not the re-releases that came out later on. So this is a custom. If anybody else has it, let me know if you guys got it custom made too. But as far as I know, I might be the only one who has this. All right. So now time for a couple, just 2 DVD releases. One of them is actually going to go to you guys. But I picked up Boogeyman from 2005, I believe. Yeah, from 05. Now on this channel, I watched and reviewed the new Boogeyman that came out, which has nothing to do with this. But I remember when this came out, the original trailer to it, I thought we were getting a brand new Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I kid you not. If you go on YouTube and search the teaser trailer to 2005's Boogeyman, it legit looks like a Nightmare on Elm Street film being teased. I was so geeked up at that time. It's 04, so I'm like 18 years old. And then I bought the movie as soon as it came to DVD, was so disappointed. I might have even rented it when it first came out. And I remember just thinking like, what the hell is this? And so seeing it at the thrift shop for $1, I was like, you know what? I don't have the movie anymore. It's been years since I saw it. I'm sure the last time I saw it was 2005. I'll pick it up, right? Let's see what I think about it today. I'll do a does it hold up review on it eventually, you know. But the one thing that's interesting about this series of Boogeyman, which some of you may not even know this is a series, they came out with a straight to video part 2 and a straight to video part 3. And I kid you not, both of those are better than this movie. So much better. I don't have too much memory of 2 and 3, but one of those is almost a carbon copy of Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors and takes place like in a psych ward. Like, why didn't you guys do that for this? Jeremy, see, you know what I mean? He says, you're right. And I know I'm right. I know it. I know it. In my memory, when I think about this movie, I think about 2 things. The teaser trailer that was like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and then being hugely disappointed when I actually watched the movie. So that's going to become a review on this channel. And then lastly, this is for you guys, and I'm going to actually do a giveaway on the ranking video, eventual ranking video of Aliens. After Alien Romulus comes out and I watch that and review it, then I'm going to do a ranking video like I always do on this channel of that specific series. But I picked up Alien. And this is a sweet release, man. Like, I could not believe that this was intact. Has this, you know, sticker on the back that's still there. I'm not going to take it off. And then inside, this is just beautiful. And my first thought as soon as I saw it in the store was like, yo, I got to get this for my subscribers. I got to get it for you guys. It's even got, you know, because it's complete, man. So this is going to be given away to you guys once I do that that ranking video on Aliens. It's just beautiful. This is such a beautiful thing. And I feel like what's interesting is, like, even though I don't buy DVDs anymore really for myself like that, if I do buy DVDs, it's some way, somehow for this channel, so I don't collect them. But the one thing that I notice when I go out is they don't put this level of production and care into Blu-rays or 4Ks. There are some brands that are doing it, like small boutique brands. I keep hearing Vinegar Syndrome being thrown around, Arrow, and a few others. Jeremy, you know, brother, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you can fill us in down there in the chat. But this level, I mean, having foldouts and not having plain discs and putting images and doing all this cool stuff. I mean, look at this, even behind here. You know, this is awesome. So I just don't feel like that level of care is being put into newer releases or the releases of the last, 10 years at all. But this is awesome. You guys are going to get this. So beyond that, what I had also planned to talk about today was something that was connected to last week's TGIS, and that is the death of Redbox. So if you don't know, if you're living under a rock in the physical media world, Redbox is gone. They've filed for bankruptcy. And I really haven't rented anything from Redbox since 2020. And before that, it was sparingly, And yeah, Event Horizon, I've never seen that either, Al. Latin Drummer says, check out Event Horizon. Never really seen it. But Redbox, it just, it's hard to say. Like, as much as I am an advocate for physical media, the act of going to that kiosk to take something back just never sat right with me. There's no atmosphere for it. It's really as you're running an errand type of thing. But the one thing that I did consistently, and I will miss from Redbox, is being able to buy their Blu-rays. And I don't know how many of you guys have done that, but if you're okay with owning something without actually, yes, a poor man's Blockbuster at Walgreens or CVS. Yeah, I agree. Without the atmosphere, renting is not as fun. But I don't know if you guys ever knew that you can buy the discs as well. There's a buy section and option on the Redbox kiosk. And over the years, I've actually filled this up with Redbox purchases. And because, they're not on display, you tend to forget what you had. And for this night, for this live, I was like, you know what? Let me look it up and see what I got. I was shocked. I forgot that I even owned most of these movies because I don't have the cover for them, right? But I've purchased, and we're gonna go through these, and you guys, talk to me in the chat about what you think about the movie, if you've seen it or so forth. But Annabelle, I believe this is the first one. I purchased Annabelle from them. I don't know if I watched it past the first time that I bought it. And I remember not liking the first Annabelle. So I might not even rented it. I might have just bought it first because it was, maybe $3 or $2 to rent and $5 to buy. I was like, I'll just buy it. And I remember not caring for the first one. I thought it was how Latin Drummer said that, Redbox was a poor man's Blockbuster. I thought Annabelle when I first saw the first one. Eventually, I would like Annabelle Comes Home and Annabelle Creation. Actually, I loved Annabelle Creation. That one I went to the theaters to see and I loved it. But the first one, I thought they just didn't do enough, and I thought she was a poor man's Chucky. I was like, you're gonna make a movie about a doll, possessed doll, and not even have her come alive? Eventually, they got a better formula with Annabelle Creation and Annabelle Comes Home, I think, where they started introducing a few more people. The first one, I don't even remember digging it at all. But eventually, I guess I'll like it. Next one, Friends with Benefits. I was still in a relationship at this time, and I'm sure that's the reason that I have this movie. Again, I cannot tell you one line, one scene from it. I don't even know. I don't even know what it's about. Obviously, like you can gather by the title, but I got nothing against Justin Timberlake, and I love her work because I know she's Meg in Family Guy, and she's gorgeous. But I don't even remember why I bought this movie, but I was in a relationship, so I'm sure that's why. That same thing goes along for the next movie. I do remember laughing at it, but I've never watched it past the first time, which is Think Like a Man. Again, relationship type of movie. Probably something I would never have purchased or watched if I wasn't in one at the time. But it was funny. I do dig movies like this. I do. There's just not a lot of memorable stuff. It's one of those comfort things. You throw it on, you laugh, and then you still forget about everything you watched. But Think Like a Man was one of those movies I got from them as well. Renee says that his favorite series of all time horror series is Hellraiser. I reviewed Hulu's Hellraiser. And I've got a funny story before we continue with this. I've got a funny story since you're here now about Hellraiser. I reviewed the Hulu one. I liked it a lot. In my opinion, it was the best Hellraiser I've ever seen. But that's because the only horror movie I was ever scarred by as a kid was the original Hellraiser. It scared the living crap out of me. Yeah, that's what horror movies are supposed to do, but like it scared me to the point where when I thought about it years later, as the years went on, I think I saw it first time in like when I was 8 or 9, because I remember the apartment I was at, so I had to be about 8 or 9. I just found it disgusting. I don't like body horror. And the original Hellraisers are a lot about, BDSM and body horror. Just never been my thing, man. But I like the new one. Eventually I'll go back and watch the original Hellraiser series for this channel, one time only, and see if I actually like them or if they hold up. I don't know, man. Hellraiser 2, Latin Drummer says Hellraiser 2 is just as good. Don't know. One day I'll find out, but I know it has its fans. I know Hellraiser went to space one time. Never saw it. I remember you know what? I think my stepfather was watching it one time. The one in space. And I remember walking in and said, "What is this?" I sat down for a little while, and then he told me what it was. I saw Pinhead pop out, and I left. I was like, nah, no more. They can't watch that. But back to the Blu-rays, guys. The next one that I picked up at Redbox was Guardians of the Galaxy. And, I'm not a Chris Pratt fan at all. He has the same effect on me as the dude who plays Daredevil. I don't remember. I'm sorry. That's a lie. It's not Daredevil. It's a Deadpool. The guy who plays Deadpool and Chris Pratt have the same effect on me, which they are smartasses. So if you want you guys know his name, the actor who portrays Deadpool, him and Chris Pratt, they just have faces that I cannot stand. So I don't like watching movies with them. And unfortunately, I love Jurassic Park, so Chris Pratt is in that. Thankfully, he's not as silly in that as he is in other movies. But here, he's on the right there. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. There you go. I can't stand him at all, along with Chris Pratt. But there's so much surrounding Chris Pratt in this movie that you don't, even though he's a star, there's so much going on that I can stomach it. And I fell in love with this like I did with Star Wars back in the day. I love the worlds that it created. So real cool to get that for $5, even without a cover. I don't mind it. The movie is what's important. And then of course, let's see. The next few, I'm not even gonna pull them out. I'm just gonna talk about them just because they're kids movies. So my son was younger when I got them, which is Monsters University. That was just hilarious. Toy Story of Terror. The original Toy Story. Maleficent, which I'm sure is a relationship movie as well. And Frozen. And then, by the way, I don't remember anything from Maleficent. And I don't remember anything from Frozen other than the song. I think there's a character in there named Olaf. But these were really like family movies. So that's why I got them. And then Big Hero 6. I love Big Hero 6. It's such a good movie. They got to come out with a sequel to that. It's just fun. You know what I mean? But that's the family section. So I'll get into the next one. You guys may have never seen this. I don't know. This might not be a movie you guys saw. But it's with Gabrielle Union. And it's called Breaking In. And this is something that I dig her. Did they? Latin Drummer says that the Frozen movies were good. Big Hero 6 was good, and they did a TV show. I didn't know about a TV show. I think but maybe by the time the TV show came out, my son was a little bit past it, but I still love it. So I thought those were really cool. But Breaking In with Gabrielle Union, really cool because most movies that are about breaking in, you know, are not like this one. There's people that break into her father's house because he was tied to something or he had money, but she gets locked out. So it's not necessarily about them breaking in and taking them hostage. It's that they take her kids hostage and lock her out. So now she has to break into this her dad has this, he was like a tech whiz or some shit. And he had all of these crazy things going on and these booby traps and all these methods of protection. And she has to break in to her own father's house to save her children after other bad guys broke in. So it's really cool. You know, Gabrielle Union, for all her faults in her personal life, because I feel like there's a lot of people that don't like her on social media or something like that. But I think she's a great actress. I've dug everything she does. I've never seen Jodie Foster's Hidden Room. I think I know somebody who was a fan of it because right away, as soon as I read that, it was like a memory triggered for me. But I've never seen it. Yeah, they try to kill her and her kids. She breaks out, and the kids get trapped behind. So now she has to re-break in after they broke in. And it's pretty cool, you know. But again, I don't think it moved any numbers because it's Gabrielle Union and people don't think that she's anything. Oh, it's not. It's not Hidden Room. Okay. Yeah. Well, these plots get recycled, and all they got to do is get tweaked. But it's an interesting movie, interesting thing. First one that I ever seen like it, so it kind of like meant more to me because I never saw anything with that premise. But I'll check out if Jodie Foster has a movie similar to it because I like stuff like that. Next one is, and I feel like this is way better than the original, but Tomb Raider, the most recent Tomb Raider, not the one with Angelina Jolie, which I, being a fan, like back then when that came out, I was a big fan of Tomb Raider, owned the original series on PlayStation. And when Angelina Jolie was chosen to play Lara Croft, I was like, really? I mean, I guess I don't see her as a Lara Croft, but I'll give it a shot. It was terrible. And I don't know if it was a result of, I don't know if it was because of her or, just like movie CGI wasn't good or there at the time. But this one right here, this is so good. The chick that they chose, don't know her name, to play Lara Croft, nailed it. And then the movie itself is just exactly like the remakes, like the newer versions of the game. Ah, so good. Underrated movie, Tomb Raider, man. I've gone back and watched it a few times throughout the years. No, nothing. Oh, by the way, I just noticed that some of these movies have rental on there. So what I think they do is that, like, I think they have unskippable trailers or something like that, and they lock out the special features. It's something like that with Redbox, where when they have a rental copy, there's certain restrictions on the disc, but they don't remove those when they go to sell them. They just move them into that section. This one I'm torn on. This next movie I'm torn on because I reviewed the sequel here on the channel. I went to the theater and I was agitated for two reasons with the sequel to this, and I'll tell you what it is in a second, which is Jason Statham. I do not like him. Thank you so much. The actress's name who played Tomb Raider or Lara Croft in Tomb Raider is Alicia Does that say Vikander? Yeah, it says Vikander. Thank you, Latin Drummer, for letting me know that. Alicia Vikander is who played Lara Croft in the newer Tomb Raider. She did an amazing job. But this movie right here, I reviewed the sequel for the channel. I did not want to watch it because of Jason Statham. But I'm a huge shark fan. I love shark movies as long as they're done well. And I remember going to watch The Meg in theaters and was torn because I liked the CGI of the Meg, of the shark, but I cannot stand Jason Statham. So I compromised and bought the Meg through Redbox because I did not want to pay full price for this movie, which was, anywhere between 22, 27, maybe 34 if we were going to get the Steelbook. But $5 for the Meg, I didn't mind it. It was fine. It's still, it's just one of those movies where I didn't expect it. I read some of the Meg books when I was younger, and this was nothing like those books. Nothing. And I think that's beyond, Jason Statham is one of the reasons why it was a tough sell for me. I don't know, man. The Latin Drummer says that the Meg movie sucked, but the Beekeeper movie was pretty good. There's got to be something else in the movie besides Jason Statham for me to care. I do not like him as an actor. He's annoying. I think he's so limited. And back in the day, right, they used to say that Steven Seagal had no acting range, and Sylvester Stallone, they would say it. Even Arnold, like, it's every movie is the same, or Jean-Claude Van Damme, every movie is the same movie. These guys can't act, but those guys have a charm on screen. When they're on screen, eventually Steven Seagal would lose that charm on screen. But back then, with his original 5 movies, where people were saying this guy can't act, he can only fight, there was a legit charm to these guys on screen. I don't feel like Jason Statham has any charm. He's one of the most blandest people I've ever seen put in a movie. And suddenly, and I spoke about this not too long ago, maybe about a year ago, right around the time as Meg 2 came out, his agent had to be pushing very hard for him in 2023 because somebody said this is the year of Jason Statham. Because I swear, I thought his time was over. I thought his time was, 2008, 2005 or something like that. For them to bring Jason Statham back in 2023 and give him all these headlining movies, not for me. Not for me. If you enjoy him, great, but I could care less about the brother. Yeah, the first 5 movies are classics from Steven Seagal, Latin Drummer. Al, I agree, brother. I love Steven Seagal. I have not reviewed a movie of his on this channel yet, but I love Sensei Seagal. I hate when people talk crap about him. Sometimes it's deserved about the newer movies because he got very, very lazy, especially once he started developing the donut mustache or goatee. Those movies are atrocious. But he still has charm before the donut, on his face. Next movie up, and I only watched it once, and there may be a reason for that. This falls in line with Think Like a Man, but Nobody's Fool. There was a period of time where Kevin Hart, if you knew Kevin Hart was in something, you were excited, to watch it, to laugh. I'm not saying that magic is gone, but it's not what it once was. You know what I mean? It's not what it once was. So I think that's the reason why I picked up Nobody's Fool. Again, not going to the theater to watch it. I didn't have this channel at the time, so I didn't have an incentive to watch movies I may not, care for, but might be a good review. I wasn't going to spend that type of money. I definitely wasn't going to buy it brand new, but for $5, why not? Let me see it. It wasn't a big deal. I was curious. If I remember correctly, the movie just doesn't, it's not bad. It just doesn't have anything memorable in it. This right here, it's amazing, right? But I don't remember much about it. And that is Godzilla, King of Monsters. And I believe this is the second Godzilla that came out before, Godzilla vs. Kong? Or right before Godzilla, or right before Kong Skull Island, I think. I haven't gone back to watch this one past watching it once, because I did watch the first Godzilla. I think that came out in 2014, or the remake, remade Godzilla. And I remember thinking to myself, this is cool, but this is boring. I don't remember if King of Monsters, got better than that. I don't, that's the thing about some of these movies, because I don't remember, buying them necessarily. I don't even know if I watched it on Blu-ray. I think I saw it in theaters and then saw it for $5 and said, yeah, I'll grab it, and didn't do anything with it. I don't even know if I've seen it at home. So eventually, with my praise of Godzilla -1 and how I watched so Latin drummer Al says, Kevin Hart's like Eddie Murphy. The first few movies that he made were great, but then all of a sudden everything else, man, dude. I mean, Eddie Murphy is my favorite actor of all time. My favorite actor. I love Eddie. But you are not wrong. Eddie's 80s and early 90s movies were just gold. But he's had a lot more hits than Kevin Hart. I don't think Kevin Hart has had the time to put into movies like Eddie did. But there's a period of time for Eddie where it's just, and it was right around that same time, interestingly enough, Al, is that right around the same time that Hollywood got disinterested in Stallone, like I was saying earlier. I feel like that's around the same time they got disinterested in Eddie Murphy. Right around the same time, because they even got disinterested in Arnold, if you remember. His movies started slipping around 95, 96. Arnold came out with a movie. This just popped into my head. Arnold came out with a movie in like 99 that had him facing the end of the world or the devil or something like that. And I just remember people not giving a crap about it. And I was shocked because I was like, but it's Arnold, it's Arnold. And I remember just no reaction. I don't remember what that movie's name was, but though a lot of those 80s stars just lost interest from Hollywood around the mid 90s. Wild stuff. Next up from Redbox, Sonic the Hedgehog. Man, dude, what a great movie. Fun movie. Like, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, not 100% on board, but overall, his overacting is not enough to deter me from loving Sonic the Hedgehog. Again, being a huge Sonic fan, I got into Sonic in Sonic 2 like everybody else. When you bought a Sega Genesis, you got Sonic 2 free with it. They did Sonic right by this. I want a Sonic 3 with a fat Robotnik. And I think even Jim Carrey wants to be a fat Robotnik too. And then the actress who plays Kiefer Septum, she plays the wife or the girlfriend in this movie. Hold my heart still, man. That girl's so fine. Like her a lot. After watching it in the theaters, I picked up this movie, and if you guys, so I'll tell you this, if you guys are cool on this channel with giveaways that don't have boxes, like discs boxes, right? I'll be more than willing to give this one away if you guys want it. It's my least favorite in this franchise, and I did a franchise ranking here on this channel for it after I did a deep dive, but Bad Boys for Life. I went to the theaters to watch it. I guess when it became available for $5, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I picked it up, but I had to watch it again for this channel, for the deep dive on the series. My least favorite. I just do not dig it. Martin is absolutely useless in this movie. And I love Martin Lawrence. Huge connection. If you guys go back and watch the playlist that I have of Bad Boys movies, huge fan of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. But this, not for me. He's useless in it. Will Smith is the best thing, but also Will Smith feels like he had to carry too much of the movie to me. I don't mind Will, being the star. I love Will being a star. I love Will portraying that character, which I think is the most. I don't know if I got to say this in any of my reviews, but I feel like after watching all of them, that the Mike Lowry character that he plays in Bad Boys is the closest thing to who Will Smith really is in real life. I feel it feels like the most natural role that he's ever done, that he ever will do. And I loved it. I love it. But in that movie, it just doesn't feel like a Bad Boys movie. And Martin feels useless. So if you guys want a giveaway of that, let me know in the in the chat. I'll give it away to you guys. No hesitation. This next movie. What a surprise this movie was. The next two movies that I'm looking at right here, and they're the last two. They were huge surprises for me, but I'm gonna bring up this one first. I did not expect this to be as good as it was, and it was one of these movies where I was like, I don't want to watch. Oh my God, what is this actor's name? He played in Titanic. That was his breakout role, and then he was also in The Wolf of Wall Street. When you guys let me know before I butcher this, like I haven't already. He was in Wolf of Wall Street and Titanic and Romeo and Juliet. I know his movies, and I'm holding one of his movies, but I don't know his name. You guys let me know down below. Well, anyways, while you guys are filling me in, Blood Diamond. This is one of those movies that I had to watch because of a relationship I was in at the time, and they're like, "Come on, come on, Leonardo DiCaprio." Thank you, Leonardo. And it came to me right before you put it, Leonardo DiCaprio. She wanted to watch him. I was like, I don't want to watch him. I don't care about him. He's not exciting. He doesn't blow shit up. He doesn't shoot people. He doesn't do all the things that I want, my movies to do, my lead actor to do. And I sat there and I watched it, and I was like, I was more into it than she was. There was parts of the movie that I was leaning in to the TV because I was so into it. What a good story. This actor right here is just really good too. He's so good in his role. And then I believe this isn't that the chick from Labyrinth? I don't remember her name either. And I've never followed her afterwards, but I know she had a successful career in Hollywood. But I just know her from Labyrinth. That was her first movie. Yeah, brother. Yeah, Blood Diamonds. Being out of the pits of Africa. Like when she talked about it, I was like, I really got to sit here and watch this. I loved it. I fell in love with it to the point where I had to buy it. Next movie. Man, I've got so many good vibes about this movie. So, little story before I tell you about it. I had a free Tuesday afternoon. And Jennifer Connelly, thank you, brother. Yeah, Jennifer Connelly, it's funny because I thought she was an actress that was like in a few 80s movies and then didn't do anything in Hollywood. And then one day I had to go back and look her up, and I saw that she had a huge successful career, like in a bunch of movies that I never saw and in genres that I never watched. But yeah, Jennifer Connelly. So I had a free Tuesday afternoon, and there were no movies, no movie trailers. This was while I had this channel. No movie trailers that I cared about, nothing that I saw that was being talked about online. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to go to the theater and look at the posters and just pick a movie and just watch it, whatever. I literally had free time. And usually I don't do that. And I usually don't even have that, to be honest with you. And so I chose this movie called Missing. And legit, the poster had none of this on there. The poster just had like a bunch of web pages and had the word missing at the bottom, like really like little small thing at the bottom. And I was like, whatever, I'll just watch this. To my surprise, this movie is a sequel, standalone sequel, to one of my favorite movies of the last 5 years called Searching. This, and I haven't cursed yet on here, so hopefully, and I won't. I want to. This effing movie and Searching, the first movie, are so good. Talk about a movie that makes you follow along with it, and you have to follow along with it to figure it out in the end. I don't like movies I got to think about. Call me a simple man. I got to think about music. Al, Latin drummer, knows about what I'm talking about. You got to think about music when you're playing it. You got to think about other things, work. When I watch a movie, I want it to be as simple and straightforward as possible. But searching and missing are the exact opposite of that. They keep you guessing all the way to the end, and they present it in a way that is, it's just different. Everything's presented from a webcam view or from a security camera view. I love that thought. So missing for $5, I couldn't do it. Like, I hope that they come out with like a huge 2-pack. And I'm probably, I'm probably like wishing too hard about it, but I hope they come out with like an exclusive 2-pack. Hell, I want them to do a third one. I love that damn movie and that series. But we're hitting 1 hour here, guys. This has been a blast. I've never gone an hour here hanging out with you guys. I legitimately try to do this every Saturday now, and I feel like you dudes are my buddies. I feel like, and one of them you actually are, Al, brother. Oh, by the way, since I got you here, Al, and if you're still here, man, we got to link up. We got to link up because from what I know, what you were working on is not fully going through. What I was a part of is not going through, and we got to do something, man. We got to do something together, brothers. So I'm going to hit you up shortly. Not today, but I'm going to hit you up and we got to chat, man, because we got to get something going. And you know what I mean? But guys, thank you so much for joining me. This was awesome. You guys kept me engaged. I love it. This is what this is all about. I'm going to be live on Monday doing a watch along for the first time ever that I've never seen, Alien Resurrection. Alien 3 was watched last week Monday with you guys on a live watch along. The way that works is I'm going to go live at 7 o'clock. I give about 5 minutes for people to catch up. You can join me by watching it, and I do a countdown and I update you as the movie's going on. You can watch it on Hulu, HBO Max. If you have the DVD, the Blu-ray or the 4K, I don't even think there's a 4K of Alien Resurrection or 3, but either way, with a watch along, this is what you do. We just watch it at the same time and we chat about it while it's on, and you're getting raw reaction from me as I watch it, because just like this hangout, this interaction, it's the same thing, but I'm watching a movie. And I was supposed to talk about Alien 3 here, but we're kind of hitting that time limit for me. But if anything I could say about Alien 3 before I do the full review and release it to you guys on Wednesday, this is what I'm going to say. Aliens, Alien, no, and it will way worse. Alien 3. I don't know what they were thinking. I'm shocked. It's not an awful movie, but it doesn't feel like a sequel. Let's just say it that way. It feels like a side story. It feels like something that should have been a book, something that should have been like a comic, a series off to the side. This should not have been in canon in the series. But you guys will hear more in details of what I think about it in the Alien 3 review. Latin drummer, brother Al, I don't know what I watched. I don't know what I watched. It was whatever's on Hulu. That's what I watched of Alien 3. I don't know what edition it was. I'm assuming it's the theatrical cut. It was about 2 hours long. Dude, I never saw the movie before. If I did, I don't remember anything. And I know for a fact I've never seen Alien Resurrection. But I am curious to, like, as somebody who's going through this series chronologically and who has to rank them at the end of this, of these 9 movies, I am curious as to, like, what is Alien Resurrection going to do to bring back Sigourney Weaver? I would think that by this time, by the 4th movie, you would be open to passing the torch to somebody else. Like, aliens should not be constantly tied to one person. There's so many of them, right? We saw them all in part 2. There's more Marines, right? There's more people. There's got to be something other than Sigourney Weaver's Ripley, but they're treating her like Arnold Schwarzenegger's T800. So like we can't have a Terminator without this one model. It's not true. So I'm curious about Alien Resurrection and what they're gonna do story-wise to bring that character back, and more importantly, what are they gonna do to make you feel like this is a worthy entry over, part 3. But guys, thank you for hanging out with me so much. I appreciate all of you. I'm Alex Thorn. Hang out with me this Monday and watch Alien Resurrection. Check out the playlist. Become a subscriber. And I'm a rock and roller who likes to watch movies in his downtime. And you know what I got to do? I got to go rock out, watch some movies, and review them for you.